tariff measures and trade frictions among major economies have underscored the importance of maintaining transparent, open, and rules-based trade. Connectivity and responsible business practices will be the key enablers of the next phase of business growth. Today's session provides a valuable platform to deliberate on actionable strategies to enhance cross-border collaboration and investment linkages. We are privileged to have with us here an eminent and diverse panel representing different regions and perspectives. Their insights and experiences will be instrumental in helping us understand how trade-led growth and investment partnerships can be fostered in a rapidly changing global environment. With that, I would like to invite our esteemed panelists to share their insights and perspectives. Thank you once again for being here, and I'm looking forward to an engaging and productive session. Thank you very much. I now invite His Excellency Mr. Min Min, the Deputy Minister, Ministry of Commerce, Myanmar, to give his remarks.
Good afternoon, esteemed moderators, distinguished panelists, and honored guests. It is a profound privilege for the delegation of Myanmar to participate in this 30th Partnership Summit. I extend our sincerest appreciations to the government and the people of India and their gracious hospitalities and excellent arrangement for this important gathering. The title of this section, Gateway to Growth, resonates deeply with Myanmar. It reflects our national vision to serve as a dynamic land bridge connecting to the great economic engine of South Asia and Southeast Asia. By both geography and spirit, Myanmar stands as the crossroad of continental connectivity. Yet, being a gateway is not defined by location alone. It must be realized through visionary, sustainable, and mutually beneficial prosperous partnership. Myanmar and India share an enduring economic partnership rooted in story, culture, and trust. Our bilateral trade value over $1.6 billion in 2024 and 2025 year continues to expand, with India remains one of our top trading partners and currently ranks as the fourth largest. On the export front, Myanmar's agriculture sector has shown remarkable resilience. We are enhancing export of beans and pulses under the Memorandum of Understanding between the two governments, valid until 2026. Myanmar also exports garment, wood products, fishery items, veneers, metals, rubbers, and turmeric to India. Meanwhile, import from India pharmaceuticals, chemicals, food products, cotton, machineries, and vehicles reflect strong industrial cooperations. Pharmaceutical in the particular account for the 60% of Myanmar's market, underscoring India's role as a trusted, affordable source of quality medicines. We organize that foreign direct investment in the engine of sustainable growth. Although inflows are fluctuated, India remains valued partner, ranking 11th with cumulative approved investment nearing $800 million as of September 2025. To strengthening investors' confidence, Myanmar's Investment Commission introduced the investment activities priority list in 2021, opening strategic sectors such as power generations, oil and gas, and manufacturing to foreign participation. We warmly invite Indian companies to seize these opportunities and join us in the advancing industrial transformations and sustainable energy development. Myanmar's goal is not simply growth, it's a sustainable prosperity. Trade and investments are the twin engines driving this vision as our economy transactions from a resource-based model to one that diversifies and knowledge-driven. We seek partnerships that are transformative, not merely transactional investments that create meaningful jobs, foster technologies, transfers, and strengthening value chain integration. Our vision of growth is inclusive, equitable, enduring, anchored in a shared prosperity for all. Our first strategy is to move up the global value chain with our partners, from agriculture to agribusiness, with fertile land and proud agriculture heritage. Myanmar is the leading supplier of pulses and beans to India's and global markets. We now aim to evolve into modern agribusiness, investing in processing, packaging, and logistics that add a value and benefit for both sides. From assembling advanced manufacturing, our garment and light manufacturing sectors have driven growth. The next step is to advance into higher value industries, machineries, electronics, and renewable energy components, areas ideal for the Myanmar-India collaborations. Our second strategy is to foster sustainable, stable, and predictable investment climate. Our special economic zones serve as integrated hubs for the trade, innovations, and logistics. They offer strategic locations, robust infrastructures, and investors-friendly frameworks to cross-border collaboration. Connectivities remain at the heart of the shared prosperity. Projects such as India-Myanmar-Thailand Trilateral Highway and the Caledon Multimodal Transit Project are not merely physical corridors. They are pathway to opportunity that reshape the regional economic landscape and reaffirm Myanmar's role as a true gateway from the South and Southeast Asia. In conclusion, Myanmar stands open not only for the business but for the partnership in the trusted sense. Our message is one shared opportunity and mutual progress. Together, we can transform this gateway to growth into the gateway to shared prosperity, a bridge connecting our people, our markets, and our futures. We warmly invite India's all our regional partners to work with us through this gateway. Shoulder to shoulder, as we build the future as sustainable, inclusive, and mutual rewarding. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We now request Mr. Watanabe to deliver his remarks.
Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very delighted to be here in the very vibrant city of Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. Very good afternoon. We are witnessing a period of profound transformation. Trade flows are slowing, supply chains are fragmenting, and investment decisions are increasingly shaped by geopolitics and technology competition. For developing Asia, India and Southeast Asia in particular, this transformation poses challenges, but also opens new opportunities to expand domestic market, diversify market, strengthen regional production networks, and build trusted partnership based on the complementarity. In this evolving landscape, India's economic transformation stands out. Guided by Prime Minister Modi's vision for trade and investment, India has pursued a balanced strategy of self-reliance and global integration, embodied in Make in India and self-reliance. These initiatives, combined with India's digital public infrastructure, such as UPI, ONDC, demonstrate how industrial policy and digital innovation can reinforce one another, fostering resilience, inclusion, and competitiveness. From a broader perspective, cooperation between India and Southeast Asia. Today, we have excellencies from Southeast Asia countries, and the wider global South will be essential in shaping more equitable and sustainable value chains. By aligning strategies, connecting digital systems, and investing in people, the global South can transform into becoming co-creators of innovation and industrial capacity. In this context, India's transformation aligns closely with the growing dynamism of ASEAN, as both regions strive to strengthen regional integration and sustainable growth. At the recent India-ASEAN summit, Prime Minister Modi underlined the shared responsibility as partners representing nearly quarters of the world population to deepen cooperation under the ASEAN-India Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. Looking ahead, India and ASEAN partnership can serve as a stabilizing anchor, advancing open, balanced and rules-based economic cooperation while deepening connectivity through trade facilitation, logistics, digital infrastructure, building on ASEAN and India long-standing role at the heart of global value chains. To strengthen this foundation, India and ASEAN must move forward from policy alignment to deeper cooperation, connecting industries, technologies, and people. Cooperation should go beyond trade, encompassing joint manufacturing, technology co-creation, and human capital partnerships. ASEAN's strong production base and India's technological capacity can jointly drive progress in emerging sectors such as semiconductors, clean energy, advanced manufacturing, and critical minerals, while ensuring the resilience of global value chains. Equally, India and ASEAN can align their efforts in digital and energy transformation. India's UPI is a clear example of how digital infrastructure can connect economies and empower inclusion for small businesses and people. The upcoming ASEAN Digital Economy Framework Agreement, DIFA, also offers a timely opportunity to link ASEAN and India digital ecosystem, promoting interoperability, innovation, and sustainable digital trade. In energy area, my institute and the CII recently collaborate on the feasibility study for the ASEAN-India power grid. This is a concrete step toward realizing a shared vision of green interconnected growth. Ultimately, the true gateway to growth lies not in geography but in partnership and trust. Both India's transformation and ASEAN's integration show that sustainable growth can be achieved through openness, reform, and collaboration. AREA remains committed to supporting these regional efforts by providing evidence-based research, policy dialogue, and multi-stakeholder platform for cooperation. We believe that the deepening relationship between ASEAN and India will not only strengthen Asia's economic architecture, but also contribute more resilient, inclusive, and sustainable global economy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I request Mr. Neeraj Gupta to deliver his remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Namaskaram. Delighted to be here in Visakhapatnam, city of tremendous opportunity, to discuss how trade and investment can serve truly as a gateway to growth for both India and Andhra Pradesh. I would also like to extend my heartiest gratitude to the organizers, the DPIIT, the Government of Andhra Pradesh, and of course CII. And very warm namaskaram to all the delegates, government officials, and industry leaders as well. I think India is at an inflection point, as one of the speakers mentioned before me, with transformative reforms, strategic free trade agreements, and digital innovation that is shaping the economy. And I think the global, rapidly changing geopolitical environment, which was also referred to earlier, is also impacting our policies and shaping the policies of Government of India. Andhra Pradesh state also has set an ambitious path through its Industrial Development Policy 24-29 and the Swarn Andhra Pradesh Act 2047. It's a very ambitious vision, leveraging the almost 1,000 kilometers of coastline, infrastructure, and medium and small enterprises to boost major industrial and exports by the year 2047. A bit about the development gaps. I think we all know there's a significant gaps, but a few numbers quickly on the magnitude of the challenge facing India as a country and Andhra Pradesh as a fast, rapidly growing economy, state economy. So developing countries collectively, globally, they face a US $4 trillion funding gap annually on an annual basis just to comply with the Sustainable Development Goals. We know that public budget alone cannot close this gap, and therefore we need to crowd in private sector investments. And that's where the role of a lot of the industry leaders present here and CII as a platform for those industries has to play a big role. I've personally worked on cities, and we've recently worked with one of the cities in Andhra Pradesh. So Indian cities need a total of $2.4 trillion by 2050 just to come up to the level of sustainable service delivery to achieve their public service obligations and to develop resilient low carbon infrastructure. It far exceeds their current investments that they make on an annual basis. So that just reflects the significant challenge that's facing not just the governments at provincial levels or India at a country level, but also our cities, which are supposed to be engines of growth. And the ironical part is that private investment in these cities, which are economic hubs, it accounts for only 5%, both through PPPs as well as through private lending, commercial lending to cities. So we do need to pay more attention to these these stakeholders and ensure that the contribution by them, both economically and efficiency-wise, is scaled up multiple times. A bit about India's strategy reforms. I think speakers before me have referred to ONDC, UPI. I won't repeat that. But there are other parts of the ecosystem that I think the government is working in an integrated manner. The policies such as Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, the Viksit Bharat vision, the PM Gati Shakti and Swarnmala. I think all these building blocks in an integrated manner, they aim to improve infrastructure and logistics. They aim to cut costs. In the morning in another event, I was hearing that there was a recent study by NCAER which has estimated that logistics costs in India amount to a whopping almost 8% of GDP. The interesting part is this has come down quite significantly over the last few years, but it's still much higher than economies like China or Singapore or other East Asian economies. Forget about Western Europe. So we have a task ahead essentially. So with these forward-looking policies, India is well placed to be a trusted anchor for resilient growth and sustainable global value chains. Now, in terms of actionable strategies and the role that we can play, so we are part of the World Bank Group, but as one World Bank Group, the World Bank supports policy and institutional reforms, while IFC, we bring in private capital. We don't just bring in private capital and We bring in private capital both to be deployed by the private sector, but also private capital directly to state-owned enterprises. And that's the role we recently played with the city of Visakhapatnam, where we've funded about $60 million for them to develop critical wastewater infrastructure, including wastewater recycling and reuse, without any government guarantee, without any state government or government of India guarantee. So it just demonstrates that even our cities, or at least the capable cities, can develop bankable projects or bankable structures which allow them to leverage private capital from development finance institutions such as ourselves. So together, World Bank and IFC can turn India's vision and Andhra Pradesh trade and investment ambitions into bankable and sustainable inclusive projects. And I think, again, the emphasis on the word bankable, because no private sector will want to put its money if it's not assured of a fair return, right? Subject to obviously certain degree of risk that each investor will take. And these projects could be bankable on their own, but I think equal importance needs to be given to making our entities bankable. Private sector wants to engage with entities, government counterpart entities, which are bankable, with a focus obviously on quality, resilient jobs, and livelihoods. Just to show that the importance we place on India as an economy, India is actually our largest portfolio globally. We have an exposure of $10.3 billion US dollars, which represents over 11% of our global portfolio. So just to put it in the perspective, India as a shareholder in the World Bank Group has a voting right of about 4-5%, but it represents more than 10% of our global portfolio. In Andhra Pradesh, a lot of you will know, we've recently, the World Bank Group, along with our partners, Asian Development Bank, has supported the development of the new capital, Amaravati, in a very, very big way. And it also aligns directly with the Swarn Andhra Pradesh vision. I mentioned about the VIZAG project. And we work across verticals, so not just direct investments into infrastructure like Amaravati or the VIZAG wastewater recycling project. We work through financial intermediaries. So we've been working through financial institutions and microfinance institutions who have a very large footprint in Andhra Pradesh, especially catering to low-income households, women entrepreneurs, and MSMEs. We also work on manufacturing. So industries which are setting up base in Andhra Pradesh, in India, including foreign investors, we try and do what we call South-South partnerships. We bring in companies, international companies who are interested in setting up base in India, and we not just bring them in with, curating these partnerships, but we also are able to provide funding to them. I think finally, I heard that in the run-up to this event, MOUs worth $100 billion have already been signed. So just to say that these kind of events and platforms do help quite a lot in directly building local economy. And IFC, as part of the One World Bank Group, we stand ready to partner with the Andhra Pradesh government and India's private sector and other key development partners to turn this movement into tangible outcomes. As I said, our modus operandi in emerging markets, the way we operate is through curating bankable projects. So if a private sector spots an opportunity, let's say it's a large renewable park in Andhra Pradesh, and they want to curate that project, we are able to come in and broker that partnership between the private sector and the government of Andhra Pradesh, and then ultimately deploy large-scale funding also. And our funding also, increasingly, we come in with the consortium. So it's consortium lending. We can put in equity. We can put in debt. But increasingly, we work largely through development partners. And together, our vision is to make trade and investment the true gateway for shared and sustainable growth for Andhra Pradesh, India, and the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I now request Natasha to deliver her remarks, please.
Well, distinguished panel, esteemed guests, colleagues, and friends. It is a pleasure for me to be here standing in front of you at the 30th CII Sustainable Partnership Summit 2025. This has been a forum that has consistently positively affected the trajectory of India's economic engagement. And our theme today, which talks about a gateway to growth, a trade and investment imperative, is very relevant and very timely. It could not be more opportune to speak about this because EU and India are today approaching the final stages or conclusions of a landmark free trade agreement. And let me say something or highlight something that the audience here already understands. And that is the fact that this free trade agreement is going to bring immense opportunity for both sides. There is absolutely no doubt that there is immense opportunity that will arise both in trade flows as well as investment flows. European companies are actively seeking to diversify their supply chain. They're looking to reduce their reliance on single region sourcing. And at the same time, they're looking to strengthen resilience against future disruptions. In this context, India stands very strong, and it does have an edge. It also indicates and stands for itself as a country with innovation, with opportunity, and this is not just for the scale in the market size as well as the workforce that India brings, but it is also for the reliability and capability of Indian producers. So in this regard, let us look at 6 factors that are going to be essential when we develop strategy or when we look at how to really capitalize upon the growth gateway. The first one being trade as a catalyst. The progressive removal of the EU tariffs, particularly in the sectors of agriculture, apparel and textile, which have traditionally been sectors with higher tariffs, above average tariffs, is going to bring in tremendous opportunity for impact on trade volumes. In this regard, it will encourage EU companies to look at India as a dynamic, competitive and high quality sourcing destination. We do have the opportunity to stand out as the sourcing destination. Indian producers, particularly those that rely upon domestic sourcing for raw materials like cotton, will qualify and will meet the rules of origin requirements. This will give them an competitive advantage over preferential countries such as, or various economies such as Vietnam or Bangladesh. Bangladesh currently enjoys a GSP status and this is expected to evolve. At the same time, we should also recognize that the agreement will expand India's access into the European goods and the European products. The high tariffs, which have historically prevented import of European goods in certain sectors, the reduction of these tariffs will now allow for more goods and opportunities to be available to Indian consumers and Indian businesses. This means we're going to have enhanced choices, we're going to have more quality options and more innovation. This drives us towards even more competitive and environment to stand out for ourselves. I want to next move upon the aspects of investment. I want to speak about investment here. This is a two-way street. The trade flows are not the only dimensions of this partnership, but investment flows will also be significantly impacted. We already see and know, and some of our panelists have also highlighted, that under the Make in India vision, we have seen European investors seeking in opportunities for manufacturing and innovation in India. The FTA can accelerate this by addressing the long-standing barriers that have made investment or operational setup cumbersome. When these factors are eased, then everyone wins. whether it's the European investors or it is the Indian partners, but it's also the Indian local workforce and Indian people that stand to benefit in this regard. Thirdly, I'm going to touch about sustainability. This is the new imperative. There's no turning away over here. It is the journey ahead. It is the future. But let's look and understand why. Okay, EU companies, to put into perspective, EU companies today are operating under unprecedented scrutiny. They are driven by legislations such as CBAM, the deforestation regulations, and also the forthcoming forced labor rules. They also have expectations that they have to meet from consumers, investors, and civil society. So this means when the European firms are sourcing from or investing in India, they need reassurance that their supply chains uphold strong environmental and social standards. Many companies, including members of M4E, in this regard use strong and internal systems which are capable of identifying risks on labor conditions, occupational safety, discrimination, or environmental practices, all the way down to their supply chain. Now, with the best positioning of India with regards to sustainability, we will be able to seize the opportunities, okay, in maximizing the benefits of this FTA. This effort is not going to be easy, but it is necessary. And importantly, it will not only benefit business, but it is also going to benefit workers as well as communities. A very quick touch upon the shared role with the government. Okay, here it is also important that to understand that India has already made tremendous progress with regards to labor reforms, compliance structures, as well as digitization. But continued engagement, such as consideration of or considering the ratification of the remaining core ILO conventions, such as freedom of association and collective bargaining, will further strengthen India's case as trusted long-term economic partner. These are complex tasks in a vast and diverse country, no doubt. But they are also foundational to ensuring that the FTA is supported by all the necessary stakeholders in Europe. As endorsement from the 27 EU member states and the European Parliament will be essential and the next step. At a time of heightened political sensitivity, India's ability to demonstrate strong commitments on sustainability will help to secure broad and timely approval. We must also understand we do work in a competitive global landscape. Over here, it is worth noting that India is not the only country deepening ties with Europe. The EU has just concluded a comprehensive and enforceable Trade and Sustainability chapter with Indonesia and is in discussions with Thailand, which have produced similar outcome. These countries are also positioning themselves as responsible and attractive sourcing destinations for European business. India, with its scale and capabilities, should not just match, but also exceed these commitments. And lastly, let's look at the gateway to shared prosperity. As India continues to showcase its readiness, its openness and sustainability and investment facilitation, I do firmly believe that this FTA could become one of the most successful in EU's portfolio. It has the potential to unlock unprecedented trade, drive innovation, and enable sustainable industrial growth, thereby also empowering millions of workers. So the world is watching, and it is watching India rise with admiration. This FTA is more than a commercial document. It is a strategic bridge between economies that share values of democracy, innovation, and long-term partnership. Together, we can shape a future where trade and investment become engines of sustainable, inclusive, and resilient growth. Ladies and gentlemen, the gateway to growth is open. Let us step through it together. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. I now request Her Excellency Ms. Armida to deliver her keynote address.
Excellencies, business leaders, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you, and it is indeed my pleasure to join you again in this CII Partnership Summit, and especially in this particular session on Gateway to Growth, the Trade and Investment Imperative. By way of background, let me start by highlighting the two interconnected challenges faced by many countries in our region in sustaining long-term economic growth and development. The first one is the convergence of per capita income levels between developing countries and the world's frontier countries has decelerated, driven by slower labor productivity growth and the diminishing impacts of capital accumulation on productivity gains. Second, many countries in the region remain trapped in production activities with lower value addition, and it is becoming more difficult to upgrade into high value addition segments of global supply chains amid rising trade protectionism and fierce international competition on technologies. The answer to overcome these challenges lies in strategic trade and investment partnership, in forward-looking alliances that transcend borders, that ignite sustainable economic growth as well as development, and in forming network of free trade agreements that prioritize areas such as green technologies, digital infrastructure, and resilient supply chain. By forging deeper ties with like-minded partners through strategic free trade agreements, countries can diversify trade routes, mitigate risk from restriction, and channel investment into high-impact sectors. In the present global context and situation, it is of my view that for India, the gateway to growth can further be opened through continued policy reforms in areas such as ease of doing business, labor laws, and streamlining custom procedures and reducing logistical bottlenecks. Second, by fostering a vibrant innovation ecosystem, which is crucial for developing high-value products and services, through increased investment in research and development, encouraging the creation of intellectual property, promoting collaboration between academia and industry, and supporting startups. And third, by investing in skills development and vocational training programs aligned with industry demand will ensure a skilled workforce capable of supporting advanced manufacturing and digital services. Fourth, by adopting policies that promote green manufacturing, renewable energy, and sustainable supply chain, will align India with global environmental goals and open up new opportunities in the green economy. Fifth, by leveraging India's robust digital public infrastructure, such as the Aadhaar, UPI, and the Open Network for Digital Commerce, can further enhance trade efficiency and financial inclusion. And finally, by tapping into India's large domestic market, the country's 1.4 billion population with increasing purchasing power is one of the largest markets in the world. The government has taken initiatives such as Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat. It is high time that in addition to facilitating FDI inflows, domestic investment are also facilitated to upscale the manufacturing and services sectors. The industry also starts to tap into the large domestic market, which will keep India's momentum of growth on the right path. With the above thoughts, I conclude, and thank you very much for your kind attention. I wish you all a very successful summit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for a very holistic address. I now request His Excellency, Mr. Sovichit, deliver his keynote address.
Good afternoon. I think all the speakers have exhausted all the idea that people need to absorb in order to get as a lesson learned or the fruitful discussion of this panel. For us, I think based on the theme of trade and investment imperative, we have to look a little bit closer how to cooperate and how to share together. This morning, distinguished panelists and ministers have paved the way for us on the particular factor to grow together through cooperation, through readiness, through platform of digital technology, and through investment. In this panel, we discussed how trade and investment would be. So first, my respect to Mr. Narayan Setumramon, the co-chair, Confederation of Indian Industry, International Council, and CII, Trade Policy Council, and Managing Director. Excellency, Deputy Minister, esteemed speaker before me, Excellency, distinguished delegate, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure and privilege for me to be here to represent my Minister of Commerce, Excellency Chonimul of the Kingdom of Cambodia in this 30 Partnership Summit 2025. And my pleasure to deliver the keynote address in this important session on trade growth, gateway to grow the trade and investment imperative. On behalf of the government of Cambodia, I wish to express my deep appreciation to the government of Republic of India, especially His Excellency Piyush Goyal, Minister of Commerce and Industry, in collaboration with the government of Andhra Pradesh and Confederation of Indian Industry for the invitation for us to come to this event and to give an opportunity for us to deliver the speech. As you may note that over the past decade, ASEAN and dialogue partners have made remarkable progress in transforming regional economy through trade openness, investment, facilitation, and regional integration. The evidence of partnership have been highlighted in a good result through South-South cooperation, Greater Mekong sub-region cooperation, which is fostering sustainable growth and shared prosperity among developing countries. However, the global economy is at a crossroad, facing shifting supply chain, technology transformation disruption, and urgent need for green and inclusive recovery. In this context, trade and investment cooperation stand as the most powerful engine to propel our region toward sustainability and shared growth. Cambodia firmly believes that strengthening trade and investment cooperation remains the most powerful driver for achieving equitable growth and create resilience in our region. In recent years, it became even more clear that prosperity of nations is closely connected in shared interests or mutual benefit in partnership among the nations. In this context, I wish to stress that India is the big market. India can be a hub that would promote cooperation or trade and investment between the nations in Asia. Maybe we don't say only South Asia, but also Southeast Asia. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Cambodian emphasize on the factor of significant potential for successful promoting trade and investment in the region through the following collaboration. First, trade must serve as a gateway to share prosperity among the nations, since the global economy has been rapidly changing. It should serve the purpose of facilitating the flow of goods, service, investment, labor, and technology transfer. By fostering trade through regional and global integration, we will be able to create inclusive and sustainable economic opportunity to overcome global uncertainty. As an ASEAN member state, Cambodia, in collaboration with other members, has solidified ASEAN's position as the global economic force, underpinned by robust growth, dynamic workforce, and progressive integration effort. For Cambodia, we have worked tirelessly to promote economic integration, reduce trade barriers, and strengthen connectivity in the region and the world through our integration into regional grouping and World Trade Organization. We believe that regional and global partnerships have both trade, attract investment, and stimulate economic growth. Cambodians continue to pursue an open, rule-based multilateral system, just mentioned by Director General of the WTO this morning. The necessity of rule-based multilateral system still be a strong mechanism to support trade. Our commitment to regional economic integration is reflected in our participation in regional comprehensive economic partnership. That's in this particular point, I strongly suggest that the more partners we will have, I think we can expand our trade much more better and larger. And our active role in ASEAN Economic Community framework, particularly ASEAN-Indian partnership as a vital pillar of our collective economic resilience. For this particular case, India's growing global role in technological capability and being a large market have complemented in ASEAN integration agenda. The progress have been made through mechanisms such as ASEAN-Indian Trade in Goods Agreement, ASEAN-Indian Business Council, and Plan of Action, which both sides are creating new pathways for trade, investment, and digital connectivity. For this year, 2025, ASEAN-India focused on cooperation in areas such as digital transformation, supply chain resilience, and other cooperation. Cambodians support the ongoing review of the ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement to make it more modern, inclusive, and responsive to emerging global reality. We encourage collaboration in MSME development, innovation ecosystem, and sustainable investment, particularly in sectors such as renewable energy, digital transformation, and infrastructure. We believe that partnership of deeper regional connection will unlock new market opportunity and strengthen the value chain that create prosperous linkage of our economy. Second, investment is the engine of transformation. The Royal Government of Cambodia adopt and implement the new law on investment and aim to boost foreign trade investment. We invite India partner looking at this opportunity to move to Cambodia, which is a market that could share the growth together. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, with these remarks, I feel that it is time that we all together can come to the new impetus and using this platform to move together. But last but not least, allow me to once again express my appreciation to the government of India, especially Minister of Commerce and Industry, and the government of Andhra Pradesh for inviting us to participate in this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. As we are running a little behind schedule, we will not be able to take questions. I will now hand it back to.
Thank you, session moderator, for initiating those dialogues, and thank you to all our presenters. May we please request you to kindly present the mementos in your capacity as session chair for this particular session. Let's have a big round of applause for all our speakers, ladies and gentlemen. And I request you all to kindly remain with us. We will be immediately moving on to our next session, which is a fireside chat between the Director General of CII and the Director General of the World Trade Organization. It will be an interesting conversation. So we request you to please remain with us. Let's have a big round of applause. I know it's the later part of the day, but let's show some enthusiasm. Let's have a huge round of applause for all the speakers, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, I'll request session moderator to come forward with our speakers for a group photograph, and then we'll break for the next session. We request you to kindly remain with us. We'll just take a couple of minutes to make the necessary table arrangements, and we request you to please remain with us while we have the next session. May we request our delegates in the front to kindly take the respective seats. We are about to start the fireside chat. May I please request our delegates in the front to kindly take the respective seats, and request people at the back to please come forward.
Ralston is driving that momentum, taking India to the world. From revolutionizing bicycle tires in the 1950s to leading automotive innovation, we now enter a new era, commercial tires. We use high-quality raw materials, SCADA system, and precision machinery sourced from the best manufacturers from across the globe. Our automated tire building utilizes nitrogen curing for superior uniformity and performance. Our proprietary cool compound technology enhances fuel efficiency. Every tire undergoes rigorous testing: visual, X-ray, uniformity, and dynamic balancing. We ensure radial runout, endurance, and casing strength meet our exacting standards. Each tire is barcoded for full traceability. Made in India, made for the world.
If rising, that is the question we ask ourselves every single day at EcoRem. The more greenhouse gases